With Crystal Palace manager Frank de Boer being sacked, it was time for an Italian brash manager to come in and shore up the defence. With the club in turmoil, that's what they needed. So they brought in the one and only Damiano Daddiano. First thing to decide as Crystal Palace manager was where we were going to take our pre-season tournament, and we chose to take it to the far reaches of Portugal to expand our brand of football and hopefully entice some new talent. The second thing on the manager's agenda to do is to look at the squad, and the squad that we've inherited, and it came from a manager trying to play a little bit of tiki-taka football, but the team he had wasn't the right team for it, and the team I've inherited wasn't the right team for it, so I've had to restructure a few things about. And what I'm trying to bring to this team is a resilient 3 at the back Italian formation. Now, we've got a few of the players to fit this formation, but there's a few players that stick out like sore thumbs, and one of them is Joe Ward at the right mid position. I want someone like a right wing back. He's going to be playing right mid, but I want him to be a bit more defensive. I want him to be able to come back, and Joe Ward isn't the right guy for this. He hasn't got enough pace to fill in that role currently. The next position I would like to highlight is the secondary striker position. Now, we've already got Christian Benteke up there, and he does a fantastic job up there. But what I want is a pacey striker to run in behind the defence, because we've already got the wing backs, and now ideally I would like them to stay out wide and do their job out there. So we need someone in behind. So currently I've gone for Zaha. Now, Zaha's a conventional winger, but I reckon we can convert him to a striker and play him up there. Now, we're still going to need somebody as a backup for Zaha. I'm thinking maybe Townsend, but we're going to have to test him out in pre-season. Swiftly moving on to the board objectives and youth development, they want us to sign a youth player into the squad, pretty easy stuff. Brand exposure, they want us to sell out at least 85% attendance. No continental objectives. Domestic objectives, we want to finish mid-table and reach the round of 16 stage in the FA Cup. And for financial, we want to, within 2 seasons, increase the club's worth by 15%, which I think is very achievable. Now, we've set up our scouting instructions here to go back to the squad, and it's just to find an attacker, a right back and a central midfielder, basically just reiterating what I said before about our squad. Now, the final little piece of admin that I have to do is to set up our youth scouting network. Now, I do want to bleed through a bit of youth player into our team because we can fill in the positions without spending a lot of money. So yeah, I'm going to set that up in England for 3 months. Okay, now we're getting into the important stuff with a little bit of training to see how our players perform in the different positions I want them to perform in. First up, we've got Connor Wickham here. Now, I'm trying him out because obviously he's our secondary striker. He'll probably come on for a sort of Benteke role. I'm testing him out in training. He's impressing me, so I'll probably give him a few games in pre-season. Now, next up on our training is Wilfried Zaha. Now, I want to check his attacking threat and his attacking ability on the pitch because we're going to need a secondary striker. Like I said, we need someone with pace who's going to help Benteke. We need someone to make the runs and drift out wide, and so we're hoping Zaha's going to do that. And also, Townsend was in this training session as well, not directly being trained, but still he showed a few good signs as well, so we're going to train him. Next up, we have Bakary Sakho, who isn't conventionally a defensive player, so I want to train him in some defensive drills. And even though things started off a little bit shaky with Sakho, admittedly he wasn't great in his role, he grew into it towards the end of the drill, and I'm very happy with how this came out. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to playing him in that right mid, left wing back, right wing back role. We also did training drills for Van Aanholt and Riedewald, and all went pretty great. I'm pretty happy with that training drill, and all of them have impressed me, and we'll get game time. Just before our first friendly game, we get an offer from Malaga for Scott Dan, and he is not going anywhere. He's my captain, he's my skipper, and he's staying at the club, especially for an offer of 7 million. Our first game of the pre-season falls against Benfica, a great team, a team in the Champions League. Hopefully we can match well against them and prove that we are able to stand up there against them. The first thing that I want to highlight in this game that happened is, you can see, I brought it up previously, Joel Ward at right midfield is just not going to work. He gets outpaced, he's not got the ability, because that whole right flank is his responsibility to protect, and he hasn't got the pace to get up and down there to do that job. So we are definitely going to have to go in the market for a replacement for him in the future. Or look elsewhere on our bench, we've got some good players who can fill in there like Jeffrey Schlupp or Bakary Sakho. Moving on from that debacle anyway, I want to highlight how good our partnership with Wilfried Zaha and Christian Benteke is working. You can see here them interlinking as well with MacArthur as well. And yeah, fantastic stuff so far that I've seen from them. Benteke gets himself a goal, that's what we want from him. He's going to be our star striker. I wouldn't even mind if Zaha doesn't score as long as he's getting assists. I'm actually gobsmacked. That was not a penalty, and Benfica draw level there, and not having that. We concede a penalty for what was basically a nudge, way too soft. But once again here, Willock breaking down the side, Scott Dan trying to catch up with him. Luckily for us, that one was not in the penalty area, but Scott Dan, he's going to have to improve. He's our skipper, he's our main man in the middle, and we're going to be bringing in a few players around in that position that aren't going to be comfortable to play in a 3 at the back. So he needs to be my main man in that position, so I need him to do a little bit better there. Anyway, here we've got Van Aanholt breaking down the left, showing Joe Ward how it's done. Benteke back to Van Aanholt, into the middle to Wilfried Zaha, who gets himself a goal. And that's what we want to see from Zaha, doing those runs, blistering pace down the wing. And with that, we actually decided to change Joel Ward for Jeffrey Schlupp, because Jeffrey Schlupp, just like Patrick Van Aanholt, will be able to abuse that pace down the wing, control that whole flank, and get up and make those important crosses into Benteke and Wilfried Zaha. Now we have another attack breaking out from the back from Van Aanholt. Our left back passes up to Connor Wickham, the substitute, makes his way past the defender and crosses it into an easy tap-in by Wilfried Zaha. Once again, what a player. He's doing bits in this striker's role, just making it his own really at this point. And Van Aanholt clearing it away, end whistle, 3-1 to Crystal Palace against Benfica, and what a start to pre-season. My only hope following this game is that we can continue our form into the next games and come out with a victory out of this pre-season tournament. We get the notification there, James MacArthur is out with an injury for a while, probably going to miss the rest of pre-season, so we make a swap, bring in Chung Young Lee, put Loftus-Cheek up there next to Cabaye, and yeah, this is the guy who we are scouting. This is the guy that we want to fill in that midfield role, maybe to take out MacArthur while he's injured and maybe make it his own going forward. Santi Cazorla. Now we're meeting with Arsene Wenger here to try and make a deal happen. One thing we have to keep in mind is that Santi Cazorla is one of their main players in the team despite his age, so we're not going to mess around, going over 17 million bid, meeting his valuation. Hopefully we get a good response here, and we do from Arsene Wenger. He thinks that's a fair offer, I think it's a fair offer. Despite his age, he's still a great player, so 17 million for his services. Going to try and tie him down to a decent length contract as well, so we get his services for a while, and he's then going to become one of our best players in the team, up there with your Zahas, your Bentekes. If we take a look here at Santi Cazorla's contract, he's on 110k per week. We don't want that. We make a deal. We get him at 96 grand. That's all signed off. We're willing to do that. The agent agrees on the fee. He is now a Crystal Palace player. Mental how quick we got that deal done. He's going to take that number 16 and slot in there, right in the midfield. Move him about with Cabaye, make him the more attacking player. Now we get two messages here from Hussein and Wickham, one a youth player. Both want to be played in the next game. That is fine by me. I'm a manager of opportunity, so they're both going to come off the bench in that game at some point. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can carry that form. And Benteke straight into Zaha, straight into the game. 1 goal. Benteke chests it down. A second goal. 2-0. Quick succession there. We get it. Hussein off the bench. What a strike into the bottom corner. Lovely stuff. Another cross here into the middle. Zaha replica from the last game. And that is 4-0 against Martimo. What is there more to say? Now, straight after that game, we receive a transfer offer from Aston Villa for Bakary Sakho. Now, I'm willing to negotiate this one. Obviously, he's not my first choice. We're looking to bring in some new wing backs, so maybe, possibly, we could strike a deal here with Aston Villa, but they will need to match my asking price of £5.5 million. And if they match that, then they can have it. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. 5.5 million seems to be too much for a quality wing back such as Sakho. Now, before our next set of pre-season games, we're going to get some training sessions done, check out the rest of the squad. First up is Freddie Ladapo, our striker. Not been used as regularly in the Crystal Palace team. Hopefully under us he can get some game time. Training session went okay, so just checking his shooting abilities. Next we have Andros Townsend, he did smashing. Now we're going to train Noor Hussein. He impressed in the last game, so I want to see how good he is, you know, in the training drill, see if he can earn himself a second call up. And you know what? He did pretty good. I'm very impressed with Noor Hussein, and he will be getting some more game time going forward in the future. Some good performances in the training sessions from Timothy Fosu-Mensah and Lee Chung-Young as well. Now, what I have here is some quite interesting stuff I wanted to show you. Just a couple of transfers that went through, as you saw. Then Cedric went to West Brom. Most interestingly, Mirallas has gone to Barcelona. And then I thought I'd just show off our cheeky little transfer there for Santi Cazorla. Our final pre-season friendly of the group is against Valencia, and as you can saw then in the starting lineup, we actually started a lot of rotationary players, including Julian Sperone in goal. So this is going to be a little bit of a test of our character, our strength in depth in the team. But Valencia get off to a good start here, nearly going through on goal. Once again, Kondogbia putting it through to Simone Zaza, and it's 1-0 to Valencia, just like that. Rodrigo tries to cut inside. I think that's Papa Soare, our left back, our rotation left back as well. He's not giving himself much of a good case right now, and Zaza gets a penalty, strikes it perfectly. Nothing Sperone could have done there. I'm not going to blame him. He's getting on a bit. Nothing he could have done there. Gets fed through to Rodrigo. That Sperone could have done something there. That was awful. Right now, we're just going to have to do our best to move on from this result, put it behind us, and hopefully we won't have to face Valencia again in this pre-season tournament. Now we get an offer here for Leeds United for Joel Ward. It's a decent offer, and obviously, as you all know, I'm not that keen on keeping hold of and retaining the services of Joel Ward. He's not our first choice wing back, obviously. We've talked about his pace being an issue, so we put in some counter offers. They're willing to compromise at 5.9. I gotta say I agree on that. They're paying way above his valuation. I can't see myself using him. I'm going to end up transfer listing him anyway, so it's quite good now that we can get a good price for him and let him go to a different club where he's going to get game time. You know, I want to respect my players' wishes. I want them to let them play football as much as possible. Now we're actually going to go in here for a backup striker. Well, that's what I went in with the ideology of doing anyway. And with Abel Hernandez, he represents quite a good striker. No, I won't call him a backup. He's, you know, quite a good first team option possibly. And we managed to get a deal on the table there for Abel Hernandez, and we're going straight into contract negotiations straight afterwards, and not sweating too much. And currently he's with a championship club with Hull City, so he's not actually on that much of a big wage, which means there's more room for manoeuvrement. And we agree on an important first team role, 3-year contract with a decent increase in his wage. Actually, his on current wage of 12 grand, we go to 22 grand, and yeah, that's like how we like to do our business. And Abel Hernandez signs for the club. You can see there, taking the number 9. I just wanted to quickly show you as well, Marco Reus has gone to AC Milan. What a massive transfer. Now anyway, we're on to our next game against some Turkish team that I will not try to pronounce the name of. And we're in the semi-finals of the European Shield. Obviously Valencia made it through to the next round as well. Hopefully we won't get them. And this team, oh god, I cannot pronounce their name. Bassett, let's call them Bassett. They're threatening us. They're coming at us quite harshly here in this first half. As you can see, getting a lot of chances. Hennessy doing quite well in there. I did think about possibly bringing in a new keeper, but Hennessy's doing bits for us at the moment, so there's no need to make a transfer. As long as Hennessy's performing for us, I'm happy to keep him in that goal. And we also have got Sperone as a backup as well. We're going forward here. Van Arnold to Kabay. Kabay getting under a lot of pressure here, but passes it into Marlojevic, into Zaha, across to Ben Seke, and Ben Seke misses an absolute sitter. We make some quick changes here. We decide to take Zaha off and bring on Hernandez for his debut, and Van Arnold through to Hernandez, and what a goal. That is why we brought him in. He's going to do bits for us in this team. We bring him in to come off the bench to score vital goals, and he's already done it. Just come straight off the bench, scored a vital goal, put us 1-0 up, and takes us to the final of this pre-season tournament. As you can see there, Joel Ward has actually been sold to Leeds United. That deal has been finalised. And now we are on to the final of the pre-season tournament. And unluckily, we have been drawn against Valencia, the only team to have beaten us so far. So let's see if we can change that. But straight off the bat, it's not looking great. Already coming at us with a shot from Kondogbia. Plays it into Zaza. Zaza out to Rodrigo. Rodrigo with a shot. Hennessy saves it. We're coming under a lot of pressure here. This is not good. Not a good start here for Crystal Palace. And once again, Hennessy getting down. Hennessy's doing very well for us so far. Orellana into the middle. Orellana to Kondogbia. Shoots. And it doesn't go anywhere. Timothy Fosu-Mensah is going to make the challenge, but he goes down. And is he going to stay down? It's looking that way. It's looking like we actually might have to take off Timothy Fosu-Mensah, which is not good because he's actually played quite well so far, but it's actually going to spell the opportunity for a new player, Martin Kelly, who hasn't played so far, coming straight into the final. And Zaha turns his man. Zaza. Valencia take the lead again, but we're not going to let that get us down. We're not going to let that get us down. We're going to bring on Abel Hernandez. We know this guy can score vital goals, so we're going to put a lot of our faith in him. MacArthur to Milicevic, to Cazorla, to Hernandez, Zaha. Oh, what a mistake. Zaha picks up the ball. Can he get it through to Hernandez? What a strike by Abel Hernandez. 1-1. We've equalled it up. There's still hope in this game. We can still win this pre-season final. Abel Hernandez. He breaks through. Oh, and he's offside. Alright, we've got 5 minutes left. We're going to bring on Sully Kakai, another player who's making his first appearance for me in this final. Santi Cazorla chases down Zaza, breaks the possession. Kakai through to Zaha. Zaha making that run out to, is that Milicevic? To Abel! And Abel Hernandez scores for Crystal Palace. We've won. We've actually slayed Valencia. We've proved that Crystal Palace can beat the big dogs and we can do bits in this Premier League. Abel Hernandez with the second goal, and my God, we've actually done it. We've actually slayed Valencia and beat them in pre-season. What a goal. Abel Hernandez, you can see there, 3 goals in the European Shield so far. Beautiful stuff. Now all we have to do is just keep a hold of a little bit of possession, keep hold of the ball, don't let Valencia get it, and most of all, don't let them score. That was not in the script. Valencia equalise with a fantastic strike. And it's going to go down to penalties. First penalty. Parejo sends Hennessy the wrong way. Hernandez steps up. 1-1. Not the best of penalties, but it'll do. Zaza steps up. Sends Hennessy the wrong way again. It's Santi Cazorla, set piece specialist, and Neto saves his penalty. Next up here, Sola. Sola sends Hennessy the wrong way again. It's not a good day for Hennessy so far. MacArthur steps up, right the wrongs. Neto saves MacArthur's penalty. Ezekiel Garay to seal it. And that's it. Valencia walk away having won the pre-season tournament. As disappointing as this may be, we've got to keep in mind that it's only pre-season and this lesson will hopefully make us learn and prepare for the future where we will not slip up like this in a cup competition and hopefully can grab some silverware at the end of it. But it's never nice to see your opponents lift the trophy. After all the hard work we put in as well, it would have been great to have a good start to the campaign. But that'll be it for pre-season so far. Next week, we'll be looking at going on to the league and seeing how we start our Premier League campaign off.